Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Animesh. So I would like to call Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Animesh.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Toastmaster Vijay, such an amazing for such amazing introduction of your role players. And while the introductions were going on, we also had two guests sneak in. The first sneaker of the meeting. We'll have to we'll have Toastmaster Hirsch, or better known as Coach Hirsch. Just say hi to everyone. Hirsch, would you like to say hi to everyone? Go ahead. Harsh? Oh my god, okay. Okay. Well, and okay. And that brings us to our second sneaker of the day. Toastmaster Shalab, would you like to say hi to everyone? Okay, you know what? I'll just keep the hi for some time else. For now, we'll just move on to prepared speeches then. Prepared speeches for today. For prepared speeches we have three speeches. Oh, by the way, what's prepared speeches? It's where people deliver speeches based on objectives. And what are objectives? Oh, you have to join Toastmasters to know that. Well, they will be delivering project speeches, to be honest, and those project speeches have some objectives to fulfill. And once those objectives are fulfilled, you move on to the next. And today we have three speakers. Our first speaker today. Before I go ahead and introduce her, let me ask her evaluator, Toastmaster Rich Hopkins, to read out his to read out her evaluation. Toastmaster Rich, take it away.
Absolutely. Our first speaker tonight is speaking from Bringing History to Life, Project 5 in the Storytelling Manual. To cut to the chase, she needs to understand the purpose of stories about historical events or people and to use the storytelling skills developed in her preceding projects to adeptly tell a story about a historical event or person. Her time is 7 to 9 minutes.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmaster Rich. And I did not get a chance to ask her what when was it that she realized that math isn't green in our lives, because honestly I don't have to, because she's a really good friend. And on top of that she's all on top of that, this is her last project in the communication track. So ladies and gentlemen, with her ACG 10 titled Then and Now, please welcome with a huge round of applause, a huge silent round of applause, Toastmaster Indumati. Toastmaster Indumati, then and now.
Thank you, Nimesh.
Go ahead, take it away.
Am I audible to everyone? Okay. Okay, I see some slides. Okay. It was I'm just confirming because the screen changed. I see some slides.
Yeah, it is for
Yeah,
timer.
those are
Okay,
timer
I'm
slides.
really sorry, guys. This virtual meeting is okay. So I'm starting my speech now. Timer. It was a bright, sunny morning in Chennai. For those of you who know Chennai, the mornings are always sunny. It was my ancestral house, and I was cutting vegetables and helping my mom with chores in the kitchen. And my father was reading a newspaper in the courtyard, and he beckoned to my mother, Vijay Lakshmi, can you get me a hot cup of coffee, please? My mother brewed a fresh, steaming cup of coffee, which she sent with me in a steel Davra tumbler. I don't know if you guys have heard of a steel Davra tumbler. It is the South Indian version of a cup and saucer. And I took the coffee and I went to my father. And as he was drinking coffee, I peeked into the newspaper, the Daily Mirror. The headlines read, Gandhiji collapses at Keda. Gandhiji and Vallabhai Patel were working together in the Keda Satyagraha. and they were urging peasants and farmers who faced a crippling crop failure to not pay land taxes to the British. And when he was protesting there, he fell down and collapsed. I broached to my father about what happened to Gandhiji. Appa, what happened? And my father said, I'm not sure. Everyone is falling sick nowadays after the First World War One started. Maybe it is the after effects. Just then, my father's friend, Subramaniam uncle, dropped in, and I ran back to the kitchen to get another cup of coffee for the guest. As I was loitering around in the corridor between the kitchen and the living room, the courtyard, I overheard a conversation between my father and his friend about some mysterious illness. And uncle's son was actually recruited in the First World War One, and he had just come back to India. Then my mother had brewed a cup of coffee, and when I went back, their faces were morose, and the uncle was he was in tears. And when they saw me, they immediately took the coffee from my hand and shooed me away, because they did not want me to actually see what they're discussing, hear what they're discussing. But I hid behind the door and I was listening to them. And apparently, uncle's wife, Lalita auntie, and his son Ravi Anna were in hospital with a mysterious illness that the doctors could not diagnose or cure. Uncle was lamenting that all hopes were lost. And I was in tears. Lalita auntie and Ravi Anna. I had to tell my mother about this. And I quickly called out to her, Amma, Amma. My mother came running to me. And she asked me, Indu, are you okay? Good that you called me yourself. I wanted to wake you up myself. Um, you said you have an office teleconference at 3 p.m. It's already 2:45. I hope the power nap was good for you. Power nap? What is she talking about? I pondered. I was on my bed and the phone's browser was open. It was 2:45 p.m. on April 28th, 2020. Toastmaster of the Day, Animesh, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I had traveled 100 years back in the era of Spanish flu because of that forgotten pandemic article that I had read on my browser. This dream kind of influenced me a lot to look even more deeper into the Spanish flu. The flu is called Spanish flu, but it's a misconception. The flu did not arise in Spain, but Spain was the only country which was not a part of the World War and had a freedom of press. So they reported the flu first, and that is why it's called the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu killed about 18 million people in India. Across the world, 50 to 100 million people died because of this virus. How did this virus come to India? On 29th May 2000, not 2018, on 29th May 1918, a ship docked in the ports of Mumbai. And at that time, it was a World War One. So there were ships going back and forth the Mumbai port. Little did anyone know that this particular ship had harbored lethal strains of H1N1 influenza, which was brought back to India all the way from the trenches in the Western Front. And this virus wreaked havoc in India. Bombay was crippled by the virus, and the virus spread to places like Allahabad and Chennai. From the isolated villages of Bihar to the hilltops of Shimla, no part of the country was left behind. The flu completely destroyed the country. The infrastructure was very poor. The British colonial rule just did not, they ignored the flu and they said it's because of the sanitary conditions of the Indians. All the doctors were called away at World War One, and there was nobody to treat the poor patients. It was a very, very sorry state of affairs. Incidentally, the same time, the freedom struggle was also going on. It was 1918, 1920. And since the government did not do anything, the government was not adept in managing this worldwide disaster. Grassroots organizations had to take this into their hands. They all united against this cause. They all came together to work towards removing this virus from the country. This was a silver lining, and Gandhiji garnered the support of the same movement into the freedom struggle. So, in a way, the country came together to fight the Spanish flu and ended up coming together to go on and fight the British. If you see and reflect, we have a COVID-19 situation now. Both of them are pandemics. Both of them have a virus which is contagious. And a unique thing and an interesting thing is that Bombay was the city which was most affected then and now. Also, these viruses have a peculiar way of engulfing the world in waves. You have a first wave, a second wave, and so on. And the Spanish flu had been there in the country from May to 1918 to March 1920, a whole 2 years. It was a very bad time for the country, but if you compare it with now, on the brighter side, we don't have a World War One going on. We don't have a freedom struggle, and of course the government is taken all the proper precautions. We have a lockdown imposed, there is a proper healthcare support, and definitely we're in a better place. When I recounted this dream to my husband, he joked saying the virus has come to you, I mean in it's completely influenced you so much that you're even dreaming about it. But then he pondered and asked me one question: Indu, if this virus had rampaged the country and there was such an impact that the number of people who died was more than First World War or the Second World War, then why is it not a part of our history textbook? Why didn't it figure out anywhere? Why are we learning about this when a pandemic is going on now? And when I dug deeper, I found out that first of all, the British made sure that this was not reported anywhere. Press was suppressed. Second thing, people did not even have a name for this influenza. They didn't know. Some people called it Spanish flu, some people called it Bombay fever. So there was no proper statistical records. And by the time the statistical records were collated, it was 2002. We had to wait for a whole century to know the impact of this virus. I think history is documented for a reason. We need to learn from the lessons from the past. And the lessons that I think we should learn from the Spanish flu at this current COVID-19 situation are two things. One thing, yes, the government was not adept at that time, but now the government is supportive, but still, I think the civilians have a part to play. We all need to follow rules and regulations. We need to stay safe. We should not spread the virus. The other thing is, when the virus came in 1918 to 1920, the second wave was very violent. The first wave affected only the weak people, but the second wave, it affected both the healthy people and the weak people. And the younger people had suffered a lot. So now, when the lockdown gets relaxed and when people venture out, there is a sure chance that the second wave can be more violent. It can take a toll. So let's not do that. Of course, we do not have a freedom struggle to take care of. We don't have to worry about a World War One, but still we have to worry about the safety and well-being of ourselves and our fellow Indians. Let's all come together with positivity, courage, and determination, and let's all ward off this virus away from the country, just like we warded off colonialism and Spanish flu back then in 1918. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Animesh.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I actually read about the Spanish flu, and trust me, it did it did not end well. But today, we are finally in a better place. First, uh, first of all, let's just thank the stars and let's thank the efforts of the government, and also let's not forget we are in this together. So thank you, Toastmaster Indumati, for that gripping message. Now, with that, I'll just cut to the chase. Our second speaker for today, Toastmaster Narottam. Before I go ahead and
Excuse me.
go ahead and provide
Sorry to interrupt you, Animesh. I think we need to take feedback.
Yeah, yeah, yes, I'll do that. So before we go ahead, let's just have 1 minute of silence for the feedback. You can send your feedback on private chat to our Toastmaster Indumati, and just keep sending it for the next 1 minute. Um, Anand, please time it. Okay.
It's done, Animesh.
All right. Wait, that's it? Okay, cool. Let's invite our second speaker for today, Toastmaster Narottam. But before I go ahead and invite him, let's invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Srinivas. Toastmaster Srinivas, would you like to read out the objectives for Toastmaster Narottam's speech? Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Narottam. Narottam attempting CC9, and his objectives are persuade listeners to adapt to your viewpoint or ideas to take some action, appeal to the audience interests, use logic and emotion to support your position, and avoid using notes. The time given to you is 5 to 7 minutes, Narottam, and your speech title is Keep Investing, Narottam. Over to you, Narottam. All the best.
All right. Should I go ahead with the introduction? Okay. I'll just be quick. So, Toastmaster Narottam, when I asked him this question, ladies and gentlemen, this is what on whether on how math is ingrained in our lives beyond the accountancy in the kitchen. How when was it that he realized it? He had a pretty cute answer. He said this was when he started teaching his kids math, and I believe that's the best moment, when you realize that. So I'll just cut to the chase. Toastmaster Narottam, go ahead with your CP9, and I won't I won't take up your time. Go ahead.
Many of us make investments to make more money. The stocks, the bonds, the gold are various investment options that we consider investing. And if we keep investing over a longer period of time, we eventually reap a lot of benefits. Mr. Toastmaster and fellow investors, can you think of a time when you made your last investment decision? Did you invest in stocks or bonds or gold? My first investment, year 2004. I got my first salary and I saved some amount and invested in stocks, thinking that 4 to 5 years down the line, I will be able to make a lot of money. 4 years later, year 2008, the global financial crisis, when the stock market went down by more than 50%. And with that, my investment also went down significantly. And I was left with almost no savings. My investment in stock failed miserably. My second investment, year 2012. That time I told myself, Narottam, don't invest in stocks because it's a risky asset. Instead, you should invest in gold because gold value always keep going up. So whatever savings I had, I invested in gold. Year 2020, I'm still invested in gold. And you might be thinking that I would have got a lot of money from my investment in gold. But the reality is this. If I would have kept the same amount of money in my bank account, I would have got more money from the interest than what I have got from my gold investment. The value of gold has remained almost stable, relatively stable as that of the year 2012. My investment in gold failed too. My third investment, year 2017. That time I told myself, Narottam, don't invest in stocks. Don't invest in gold. Instead, you should invest in bond because bond value never goes down. So whatever investment I had, whatever savings I had, I invested in bond. Last month, April 2020, one of the mutual fund companies in which I had invested in the bond market decided to freeze my account due to the economic impact of the coronavirus crisis. As a result, my money is stuck and I'm left at the mercy of the mutual fund company to return my money. My investment in bond failed too. After choosing 3 different investments, stock, gold, and bonds, and not making much money, I was ready to give up. When was the last time when you lost all your investments? What different investment options that you considered investing? Did you choose land or real estate or Bitcoin? Or did you keep your money in your bank account? Maybe you never lost your money from your investment, but you may have heard your friends or family members losing their money from their investment. What investment advice you gave them to make more money? Did you tell them to keep investing and don't give up? As I reflected on my investment, I realized that when events like global financial crisis or coronavirus crisis strikes, there is no investment option that is actually safe. So which investment option is safe? I realized I did make few investments whose value kept increasing no matter what the situation. My investment number 1, my education. Coming from a rural place in Bihar, I invested in my education and earned my bachelor's and master's degree from country's top education institutions. Yes, even after losing money in stocks, my investment in my education has given me a lot of benefits. My investment number 2, developing a skill, public speaking. In the year 2017, when I joined Toastmasters meeting for the first time, I was hiding my face so that the table topic master could not see me. Today, I'm the president of Elan Toastmasters Club, and I'm completing my CC9 speech. It is an achievement which I'm proud of. Yes, even after my investment in gold not going up, my confidence has definitely gone up after my continuous journey in the Toastmasters Club. My investment number 3, my brain. I invest in my brain by reading books. I did not like reading books, but I started reading books since I was 32 years old. And since then, reading books has brought joy to my daily lives. Yes, even after my money getting stuck in the bond market, I'm still happy and at peace. Friends, I challenge you all to keep investing. Whether you are an investor or you are an advisor, if you're planning to make an investment or if you're advising your friends or family members to invest, now you know the secret. Take stocks, take gold, take bond, or take everything. But you cannot take those 3 things which has brought me all the other things. Because even if events like global financial crisis or coronavirus crisis strikes, your investment in your education, in developing a skill, or in your brain can never be lost. And those, my dear friends, are the only investments that can never go down, that can never be stolen, and that can never be lost. So my dear friends, keep investing. Mr. Toastmaster.
Animesh, we are not able to hear you. Can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hearing that speech. And first of all, Toastmaster Narottam, thank you for emphasizing that time and again. Investing in building up a skill is the best investment. So thank you so much for re-emphasizing that. Now we'll have 1 minute of silence for every one of you to send your feedback to Toastmaster Narottam on private chat. For those of you who still don't know, there's a feature in Zoom where you can, from the bottom panel, select chat, and then go over and click on click on the name that Toastmaster Narottam has taken. Let's say speaker 1, sorry, speaker R, speaker 2, Toastmaster Narottam, and send him a send him feedback on private chat. So go ahead and do it, and we'll wait. Toastmaster Anand, keep timing. We'll have we have 1 minute for this.
Yes.
Yes. Go.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay. All right. Now let's get to this. Let's get to the chase then. Toastmaster. So our speaker number 3, a third speaker for today, Toastmaster Vishak will be delivering his level 2 project 1 in innovative planning. And before I go ahead with his introduction, I would like his evaluator, Toastmaster Nikita, to read out his objectives. Toastmaster Nikita, please go take it away.
Thank you, Animesh. Good afternoon, everybody. The speaker, Toastmaster Vishak, is attempting his level 2 project 1, which is understanding your leadership style. The purpose of this project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Looking forward to knowing the leadership style you are adept in, Toastmaster Vishak. Wish you all the best. Over to you, Toastmaster Animesh.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Nikita. And now, may I please welcome Toastmaster. Let's welcome our Toastmaster, our third speaker for today. Now, when I asked him this question, when I popped the question to him, this is what his answer was. Taking loan? Yeah, really, you need to understand that's actually accountancy. But yeah, sure. That's actually an important aspect of math because you need to weigh out your loans, your options for loan. Now, without further ado, let's welcome our third speaker for today, Toastmaster Vishak. Toastmaster Vishak, take it away.
Growing up, I have heard a lot of statements about leadership. I have heard people saying great leaders are the ones who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way. Good leaders know when to lead from the front and when to lead from the back. Leadership is not a position or a role, but it's an example that you set for others to follow. And I have agreed to all the statements. But there is this one statement which I have never agreed to when someone tells that you are a born leader. I have always firmly and strongly believed that leadership qualities, characteristics, or behaviors stems from the circumstances, situations, or experiences that you go through in your life, and also the learnings that you receive from your teachers, friends, and even parents. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guest. First of all, I must say thanks to Toastmasters for showing me my leadership style. Though I have played various leadership roles in my life, I didn't know what leadership style I was having until I attended the questionnaire in Pathways to identify my leadership style. In Pathways, I have chosen innovative planning. And on launching my level 2 project 1, I had to take a series of questions to identify my leadership style, and it appears that I am having affiliative leadership style. Now, when I look back at my life and see all the learnings that I have received over the course of time, I can see that affiliative leadership pretty much fits in with the kind of leadership style that I am having. And I will tell you why. So today, friends, I'm going to share 3 leadership lessons or experiences that I have got in the early part of my life. So since childhood, I got exposed to various leadership roles. I got picked up to be the class leader, school leader, leading the NCC cadet corps, and even captaining our state sports team. A lot of people told me that you are a born leader and that's why you are picked up. I know why they have said that, because my father was a political leader and they thought or they perceived that I was also having some inborn leadership traits in me. But only I knew that I got picked up for those roles because I was probably there in the right place at the right time, or I just got lucky. So in all those leadership roles that I picked up in my early part of life, I failed miserably at them. And I'm going to share those experiences with you today. After being picked up as the school leader, the power of that position has gone into my head. I felt that I am superior to all other students in the school. And I thought that I don't need to actually study to get grades, because the leaders, I thought I will be an apple in the teacher's eye. So as a result of that, my grades have gone down. And soon enough, I started losing respect from the students as well as the teachers. And with no one listening to me, I leaned to my father, who gave me the first leadership advice. He is the one who told me that leadership is not a role or a position, but it's an example that you need to make for others to follow you. And he said that in this situation, the best example that you can show for others is to be a good role model for others. Now comes the second experience that I had. When I was leading the NCC cadet corps, we were taken for 10 days of intensive camp in a forest area. I was leading 20 other cadets, and some being very senior to me. And I was the one who was given the responsibility to take all the leads and all the orders to the fellow cadets. And sometimes I had to push the fellow cadets so hard that they do all the camp activities on time. Soon enough, I started seeing some issues among the fellow cadets, especially among the senior members. It may be because of the strenuous activity they were undertaking, they all got agitated and frustrated. I didn't know what to do at that point of time, and it was a very tricky situation to handle. And soon enough, the situation went out of my control. And that is when I got my second leadership advice on managing relationship from an army officer. He came to me and he said that you need to be very friendly and approachable for others to come and speak to you. And he said that you need to create a cohesive environment for others so that there will be a good emphasis on teamwork and harmony. Now comes the third leadership experience. When I joined corporate, when I started my career in corporate, I saw how worse leaders can be, how worse managers can be. I realized that some people are probably not sitting at the right job. And my manager was not an exception. My manager always believed that his way is the highway. He always wanted to get things done in his own way. He just wanted to get projects done. He was not interested in listening to anyone. So he doesn't want to understand the emotional needs of the people, and he wasn't paying any heed or attention to the concerns or the suggestions or the emotional aspects of the people. Soon enough, we started seeing people leaving the team, and as a result of that, the productivity took a hit. And that's when I realized that it is extremely important for leaders to understand the emotional aspects of the employees. Now, all these three leadership lessons or experiences have collectively helped me in my leadership journey. So if I would have listened to the people who told me that you are a born leader, I wouldn't have probably learned all these leadership qualities. The proud moment in my leadership journey came in 2017 when my team nominated me for a leadership award. I got that prestigious leadership award in 2017 in my organization. And it was only possible because I have adapted and learned over the period of time. And I have and I realized how it is important to take your team along with you. And sometimes you need to lead from the front and you need to lead from the back. And if I can be a good leader, I believe anyone can be a good leader. And if there is someone who is coming and tell you that you are a born leader, you can just politely tell them that only babies are born. Over to you, Timothy.
Toastmaster Vishak, first of all, thank you for sharing with us your experience in leadership. I'm pretty sure all of us have something to learn from this. Now we'll just take 3 minutes. We'll just take 2 minutes for each and for you for all the people, all the members of the audience to send Toastmaster Vishak feedback. Toastmaster Vishak is listed over here as speaker 3, Toastmaster Vishak. Or oh, sorry, VS Vishak. I'm pretty sure either it's VS Vishak or Speaker 3. So Speaker 3 VS Vishak. Either of those. You might want to send him feedback on private chat, and also we'll be releasing a form for best prepared speaker for voting. Now, before we go ahead, timer, are all the speakers qualified?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. That's good news. All right. So, everyone, please send your feedback on private chat to Toastmaster Vishak. And Toastmaster Ishwar, please roll out the link for voting. Thank you very much.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone. I have already posted the link for the voting in the chat window. So just click on the link and vote for the best prepared speaker. And we have also provided the feedback section for each speaker. So kindly give feedback if anyone missed while giving in the previous feedbacks as well. Thank you.
Also, please let us know if you have any problems with opening the voting link. Toastmaster Anand, would you please time us for 1.5 minutes? Thank you very much.
Okay. It's time up.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm sure you must have voted. If you haven't, please go ahead and vote, or just type out the link on if you're unable to click on it, just type it out on your Google chat, on your Google command mode. And we are not proving the form yet. So now we are going to go ahead with table topics. Now before I hand the stage over to him, our table topics master for today. Let's. I popped him the question, and he said he had. It was when his maths teacher in his pre-final year, his pre-degree first year, uh, took took a class on Pythagoras theorem, and let me just share it with you because this was good. And I'll just read it out. So when he had to teach us the Pythagoras theorem, he asked, imagine you're standing at the foot of the Eiffel Tower and with your newly married spouse, and she asks, honey, what is the height of the tower? Would you rather look stupid and say, I don't know, or do you want to learn a way by which you can give the approximate answer immediately and impress your spouse? And remember, these were times before mobile and Google. So with that, I'll now hand it over to our table topics master for today, the dynamic Toastmaster Padma Kumar. Go ahead, Toastmaster Padma.
Thank you, Animesh. So this afternoon, since we are at about 3:30, 4 o'clock, I think we should start with something peppy. So let me tell you that ever since November 1988, we have never had a problem in terms of teaching our kids numbers. You know why? Because that was the year Madhuri Dixit danced to the song 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So ever since then, learning numbers has not been a challenge. So today, we're going to focus more on mathematics and related topics. Seriously, this session is meant to ensure that we become adept at extempore talking or impromptu speech. Just for the benefit of the guests here, this is a section where anybody can volunteer, and I would first start with Toastmasters and then open it out to the guests as well. When you come on to the stage, virtual stage, I will give you a topic and you can speak for 1 to 2 minutes. A minimum of 1 minute to be eligible to be counted for voting, and a maximum of 2.5 minutes, 30 seconds of grace period. I hope the format is clear. And if the format is clear, let us then cut to the chase and start the session. I'd like to have the first volunteer, preferably a Toastmaster, so that we can set the example and later we can invite the guests. Can I have the first? Raj.
Yeah.
All right, Raj. Raj, here is the topic for you. Mathematics is like love. Mathematics is like love. It is simple unless you complicate it. Mathematics is like love. It is simple unless you complicate it. Toastmaster Rajshekhar.
Thank you, Padma. I 100% agree with this statement. Mathematics is like love only, man. Because if you see, first you need to work on the equation between you and your lover. And then you have to derive a lot of things because she won't say anything. You need to keep deriving what is she thinking, what does she want to achieve in life. All those things you have to, and then you have to integrate all your life with her life. And all these things keep going on again and again. And that's why I think mathematics is like love. And a lot of people are not good at mathematics because we don't know how to love. In the same way, we don't know how to do maths. I think it's just life is like that. They say mathematics is the language of universe. I feel in love, we don't know what language our beloved is speaking every time. So that is why there's a lot of miscommunication which happens in the love. I think that is the reason if you see, even if you fail in love, let us say if you fail in mathematics, there is very less progress for you in life. In the same way, if you fail in love too, what will you do? What is life without love, man? So to sum it up, if you see, if you fail in mathematics, you are gone. And if you fail in love, then also you are gone. And if you see in mathematics, there is something which we keep doing, that is find x. But that is something which you should not do in love. If your love is done, stop finding x. Leave the x alone. And you are unknown to x and you should live your own life. Back to you, Padma.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Excellent. So can we have the next volunteer? Just unmute and call out your name so I can give you a topic.
Yeah, this is Nasir from Bangladesh.
Ah, Nasir. Okay. So, Nasir, here is your topic.
Okay.
5 out of 4 people have trouble with fractions. 5 out of 4 people have trouble with fractions. Toastmaster Nazir.
Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Master, for this wonderful topic. 5 out of 4 people have the problem with fraction. You can include me with that 4 people. So 80% people are having trouble with the fraction. So to talk about fraction and math, I have been suffering in my life throughout from my student life to till now with math. Math was something actually I was not good at all. In my school life, I used to memorize math, you know. I didn't understand math. I tried to memorize it and copy it to the exam papers. So what happens, even though I could score very good at some other subjects, but in case of math, it was always minimal. That's somehow I passed it like 40, 50 marks or something like that. So in that way, my total marks, total GPA was always, it was some math was there to always pull me down. So my fraction of other subject was good, but when you compare it with math, it is always something actually I couldn't deal with properly. So till now, I understand that it was because of my understanding of math. Few days ago, I was actually going through a book named Mindset, where that if you have a growth mindset, you can actually excel at anything. It's not about math. Some people have the phobia that you cannot be good at math. It is something fixed. But if we have that mindset that we can actually, if we take regular practice, if we do actually allow ourselves to grow and practice, it will be easy for us to excel at math. So if you talk about fraction, I believe it is possible to improve us if we take little actions, insignificant steps every day. It's possible. And that is why I'm thinking about math again. I'm really happy that you give me this topic again, and I'm thinking to improve of my math skill. Over to you, Tabletop Master.
Thank you, Nasir. Thank you very much. Can we have the next volunteer?
I would like to join.
I would.
Pragya.
Sorry.
Pragya.
Yeah.
Okay, Pragya. Pragya, the topic for you is, it takes 2 to tango. It takes 2 to tango.
I'm sorry, but my video is off. Can you please switch it on?
Whose videos are off? Your video?
Yeah, mine was, I think, switched off. It's okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Hello, Toastmasters, guests, and my dear friends. It takes 2 to tango. But I would say, think about who's the 2. I feel that the 2 should always be you and your heart. If you keep searching for happiness and to tango outside, you would always have some kind of demotivation, depression, or deprivation of happiness. If you are the one who is enough with their heart, you will always be dancing to any tune. But the reason I say this is, even if you have a partner to tango with, who knows whether your choices, your steps, your behaviors would match? Who says that you will be able to fix into his box of the tango dance. I would still say it's good to have someone with you, but never depend on that particular person to tango in your life, because your heart and your soul is enough to dance to their own tunes. Stop looking for those tunes outside. Be happy, enjoy every moment, and keep dancing. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Can we have the next volunteer, please?
Krishna from Vizag Toastmasters Club.
Ah, Krishna from Vizag Toastmasters. Okay. So here is your topic, Krishna.
Yeah.
Small efforts lead to huge victories. Small efforts lead to huge victories. Toastmaster Krishna.
So thank you, Toastmaster Padma. The topic is small efforts makes to the huge history. This is the self story. I can say that when I came from a small village from the Guntur, and I thought I want to pass the 10th class examinations. So because if I not pass the 10th class examination, it will go. My father will take to the fields. So I need to work in the fields. It's very tough job for me, that one. That's why I passed a small step I take in that one. So after this, I gone to the intermediate. I want to become a medical lab technician. So I joined in the biology. So one more step I took, that one. Why can't I want to become a just degree I want to complete. One more step I took. So I'm becoming a microbiologist, BSc microbiology. The lecturer told me that this step is not good and you have to go for the MSc. So I took the MSc and in Bangalore. So along with that MSc, I learned the English and the Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, Marathi also in Bangalore. The small steps I took. Further, one more, my boss told me that MS is not sufficient. You need to do the PhD. I completed my PhD in microbiology. Then once again, some of my bosses told me that so PhD is not sufficient. You need to go for public speaking. That's why today I joined in Toastmaster Club as a public speaker. The small step I took is innovative planning. The innovative planning which I take in level 1 I completed. Today I'm level 2. I'm going to give the speech right away after completion of this meeting. So the small steps made me into so much confidence is given. The boy from the small village to today I'm working in the Pfizer pharmaceutical company as a quality assurance department. A small steps definitely will lead to the big way. So it's a small step in a positive direction with your efforts. It leads to the success. So we should not give up anytime. So every journey starts with one steps. So today, if you're taking all the Toastmasters, they come and join our Toastmaster Club with the hope. Now, so many people have become distinguished Toastmasters and giving so much of guidance to each and every person. Today, if you see this one, today I'm able to come and meet you guys because of the Toastmaster Indumati. Thank you very much for all your efforts, your journey, and giving the path to everybody to become a successful people in the life. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dasar.
Thank you very much. So we have time for just one more speaker.
I'll take a Padma sir. Shefali here.
Who's this?
Shefali.
Shefali.
Yeah.
Shefali. Okay. Okay. The topic for you, Shefali, is mathematics travels the whole distance from minuteness to magnificence. Mathematics travels the entire distance from minuteness to magnificence. Toastmaster Shefali.
Wow, that's a very complicated topic. Okay. Well, mathematics in
Do you want a simpler topic? Do you want me to give you a simpler topic?
Yeah, that'll help if I can make sense of another topic.
No problem.
Or I just...
Okay, here is your topic.
Okay.
Multiply your joys, divide your sorrows. Multiply your joys, divide your sorrows. Toastmaster Shefali.
Thank you, table topic, Master Padma. So here's my philosophical mode on. In these quarantine times, I think it's some days for me have been good, but some days have been really bad days. And so in order to do that, I think I'm just like, catching up with friends over video calls, or getting in touch with them, and reminiscing memories that we had earlier. So that's where I'm trying to multiply my joys, and dividing sorrows. Yeah, I think not looking at one bad day as, or letting that affect me in this time, I think is something that's keeping me going, and trying to like engage in different activities like workout, or things like that. So I think at this time, spending quality time with family, and like I'm trying to play chess, and trying to engage in activities that I would usually not do as much. So I think that's keeping me joyful and happy. And yeah, some days are not as good, but trying to divide them. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, quick question to timer. Have all the speakers qualified? Timer?
No, except Nasir, all are qualified.
Okay. So, will you roll out who's rolling out the voting slip? Or do you want people to vote to you, Ishwar? Send their votes to you?
Yeah, it will be better, sir. Just forward me the.
So in the chat, choose private chat and send your vote to Ishwar. Just put one name of who you consider among the 4 qualified speakers to be the best table topic speaker. And to help you remember, the first speaker was TM Rajshekhar. The next was Toastmaster Pragya. The third was Toastmaster Krishna. And the fourth was Toastmaster Shefali. So pick one of these who you think.
I'm sorry to interfere, Padmaji. I am not a Toastmaster yet.
Pragya, is it?
So you'll have to write it as guest Pragya.
Okay,
Thank you.
guest Pragya. Yeah. So if you have done the voting, that's it from me. Thank you very much for your active participation. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Padma, for that amazing table topic session. I honestly loved it. Well, and especially, because I was actually looking forward to, witnessing how this pans out, because I've never, because this is a topic that has never been taken up, apparently, and finally that we did. So I thought, I was just, anticipating, I was just anxious to see how this pans out, and I honestly feel every one of us enjoyed it. Each and every one of us loved hearing the topic that was given to us, that was given to each of these speakers. Now for each of you speakers, now if you are a guest, then congratulations, you took the first step in public speaking by taking up an impromptu speech. Now I would to conclude this theme, because I didn't talk much about the theme. Here's what you need to know. Mathematics governs each and every phenomenon. It's just that you need to dig deeper. An example, chilling out has different notions, in people's minds. Netflix, or just sitting at home, cutting mangoes and eating them up. A lot of things. But how does that happen? How does our tools for chilling out, come to us? As an example, Netflix. How does that come to us? It's all an implementation of math. There are tools like Netflix. There are tools like Prime. There are tools like online games. I'm just saying. There are also tools like online courses. where you learn stuff. Now, all of that is an implementation of what people have learned about math in the last few years, what people have discovered about math in the last few years. It's all an implementation of each and every theorem, of each and every theory in math. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to waste any more time because apparently I've taken up too much time. So I'll simply hand it over to our general evaluator for today, General Evaluator Toastmaster Vijay Bansal, for taking over the evaluation section. Take it away, Vijay sir.
So thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Animesh. So I am audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. So good afternoon once again. So this is the third segment of the meeting, and it is going to be very, very interesting. Like Toastmaster, you give speeches, but if you don't get feedback, you don't learn. So it is very important that when you are delivering speeches, so you come to know that what are your strong points and what are your not so strong points, and you can work on then both the points, like which are strong you can keep them, and where you are not strong you can improve upon them. So now we will be I'll be calling the prepared speech evaluators one by one, and then we will have the different role players which will evaluate whole meeting, and in the end I'll present my report. So in this segment I want to call my first evaluator. So when I ask the question which is theme of the day, when you realize the maths is ingrained in your daily life apart from beyond the accountancy, then his reply was, when I had to start figuring out time zones, when I started this challenge to visit all the 120 districts. So this is amazing. So I would like to call Rich Hopkins, Toastmaster Rich Hopkins.
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and of course, Indu, such an honor to evaluate your speech today. You are an advanced Toastmaster finishing up this manual, speech number 10, to get to your next level of accomplishment within Toastmasters. So I'm going to be giving you a little bit more of an advanced evaluation today. We started off with a story. You brought us all the way back to the olden days, 100 years ago. This bright and sunny morning featuring the protester that you were reading about, featuring your mother and your father, although I wasn't sure if it was your mother or father because I wasn't sure what was going on because it was the past, but you were in the past. But that was the point of your story, was that the story, as it turns out, was a dream, which is a wonderful technique that is used in movies and on television and in books all of the time. So a wonderful storytelling technique that you chose to provide for us today. You used dialogue between your characters, both in that story and then dialogue when you came back to the present and being woken up, dialogue with your husband in terms of talking about the dream. That was a very important part of your project, making sure that you shared dialogue with us to help bring us into your story, because you really had two stories, the dream story and then the story of your conversation with your husband. But the stories were used really to tell us a message that wasn't so much of a story. It was a message about how you feel about COVID, how you compared and contrasted that to the Spanish flu, what India went through during that time versus what India is going through during the present time. And that was an interesting approach to take to a storytelling speech when the assignment seemed to be tell a full story. You instead used a couple of stories to help illustrate a greater point. I would have liked to have seen your characters developed a little bit more. It would have been good for me perhaps to be a little little bit more clear in terms of the dream sequence, because I was a bit lost at the beginning. I'm not sure if there's a way to make it more clear without ruining the fact that you have a surprise that you're going to wake up later. You did have some issues with making sure you were saying 2020 versus 1920 a couple of times. I like the fact that you have a nice simple background, you're in a professional setting, you had great eye contact with us, you seemed very confident in what you were presenting to us, and overall the ideas you presented were very well thought out and informative to me. It was very interesting that you talked about the fact that this history seemed to have been wiped out from the history books in India, and the overall lesson that if we don't learn from history, we're going to repeat it again. I hope you learn from this evaluation so you repeat what you did well again, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rich, for your wonderful evaluation. So my next evaluator, when I asked the question that when you realize the math is ingrained in your daily life beyond accountancy, then his reply was, he sees that everywhere and every situation we see the mathematics. So I would like to call my next evaluator, Toastmaster Srinivas. He will evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Narottam. So I welcome Toastmaster Srinivas.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks, General Evaluator, and thanks, Narottam, for a wonderful speech. When I heard the title, Keep Investing, the first thing that came into my mind is, as an investor, what you are going to talk about. Okay, and in my belief, like every human being is given a limited resources, and specifically, if you talk about money and time, both are kind of limited. And when you started calling out like Toastmasters, guests, and investors, and kind of like, okay, you directly connected to the topic, and you started giving the speech talking about investing money, and you started from 2004, and you talked about your stock market and then investment in gold and then investment in your bonds, and you mentioned about how it went fine and it did not go fine. And suddenly you switched gears and you shifted your focus completely into a new thing, which is more about, okay, now you invested in all this about money, right? Whatever you earned. But later you shifted and talked about investing in your education, investing in building a skill, investing in improving your brain. And then you mentioned about it. And I like the way you switched it. Okay, and I suppose both of them actually help in combining the message ultimately to everybody, saying that it's not about investment of money, about your investment of time as well, how well you invest. That I liked very much. And the message was very loud and clear as well, because at the end of it, you are saying whatever you invest in the right things about education, about building your skill, it cannot be lost, it cannot be stolen. I liked it very much. Coming to the areas where I would like it to be more important, you used very simple language. I liked it. And the one thing that I felt was you spent probably more time in talking about your investment journey from 2004 to 2020, because your message is not about investing money. Your message is more about investing time and how effectively you can invest time. The second area where I felt a little improvement can be done is you are actually standing and speaking. That's very good. But as part of your speech, you are supposed to actually give logic reasoning, as well as you tell them that you have to inspire the audience as well. But I felt maybe you could have used your voice modulation a little better, saying that, okay, it's now, let's invest in time and invest the time properly. You could have used more voice modulation, a little bit of drama in between, so that audience get the attention that you are more focusing on that. So I felt you spent more time in talking about your investment of money. So that's what are the main points. But otherwise, I felt your speech is very wonderful, very clear message at the end. It is given to everybody, saying that okay, forget about investment, about your money and all, but invest in time. So over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srinivas, for wonderful evaluation. And now I would like to call my third evaluator. When I asked the same question, which is theme of the day, that when she realized that math is ingrained in daily life beyond the accountancy, then her reply was, I read out her reply, that when I had to do time conversions or calculate my pace for running a marathon and complete it in my target time. So, well, I welcome Toastmaster Nikita to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Vishak. So, welcome Toastmaster Nikita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay. Leadership is one trait all of us inculcate in Toastmasters, and this project lays the edifice for that. And your speech, Toastmaster Vishak, re-established this fact. Cutting to the chase and getting to your evaluation, I will talk about the things you excelled at, a few points you may want to work on, and then summarize. In the end, I will also try to give you a challenge for your next speech. The points that you excelled at. In the beginning, you established your beliefs on leadership about the leaders leading the way, showing the way, and then setting an example. And you also established that you don't believe in people being born leaders, you evolve with your experience. And you justified that particular quote with the 3 examples that you shared about your school, your NCC, and your corporate. So the quote that you said that people are not born leaders, you established that completely during your speech. The second point I liked about your speech was you were able to justify the purpose of your project, which is identify your leadership style. And you said that you're adept in affiliative leadership style. So you completely did justice to the purpose of your project. The third point I liked in your speech was that how you closed the loop in your speech with your beginning and your conclusion. I really like that because in the beginning you said that people are not born leaders and they learn with their experience. And towards the end, you also spoke about how your experiences in 3 different examples helped you win that award in 2017, the Leadership Award. So again, you closed the complete loop. You started with one belief and you ended at the same belief. So you completed the loop. And I really like that about your speech. Coming to the recommendations I have for you. You said that the questionnaire helped you see which leadership style you are adept at. But I would like to know what part of the questionnaire or what are the qualities it spoke about and you were able to relate to the questionnaire. If you highlighted those qualities when you spoke about how the questionnaire helped you and then spoke about them in your examples, I would have been able to relate to the qualities of an affiliative leader better. And then you spoke about 3 examples, like your childhood, how you failed due to the ego getting in your head, and then your father gave you an advice that you need to set an example. In NCC, you had issues in your team, and then your officer advised that you be friendly and approachable. In corporate, it was a self-realization that you need to be more considerable about the emotional aspect. So how did you apply these advices is something that I was eager to know. Concluding, it was a great speech. You excelled at establishing your beliefs, justifying the purpose of your project, and closing the loop in your conclusion. Some areas to work on, just highlight your leadership style better, and how did you apply the advices. One challenge, I think you had your notes somewhere in a corner and your eyes were going there. So in your next speech, avoid using the notes. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nikita, for the wonderful evaluation. So now I would like timer if everyone is qualified.
Yes, Srinivas. All are qualified. All evaluators are qualified.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So now we will take 1 minute for voting. So Toastmaster Ishwar, can you please post the link in the chat window? So yeah, he has posted the link in the chat window and we all can copy the link and vote for the best evaluator. So timer, please let me know when one. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it's time,
Okay,
Vijay.
okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Anand. So now I would like to call different role players who were watching the every aspect of the different aspects of the meeting. So first one, I would like to call Toastmaster Anand, who is playing the role of the timer. So Toastmaster Anand.
It's time for my report. Okay. For I don't want to waste time. I will cut to the chase by telling my report, time report for all the speakers. For prepared speech, uh, Toastmaster Indumati took 9 minutes 9 seconds. Yeah, she is qualified. And Toastmaster Narottam took 6 minutes 33 seconds. Super, he qualified. And Toastmaster Vishak took 7 minutes 22 seconds. That's also wonderful. All are qualified. And next, coming to table topics, Toastmaster Raj took 1 minute 25 seconds, well within time. And Toastmaster Nasir took 2 minutes 32 seconds, light above the red mark or the time limit. Okay, but better improve next time. Then Toastmaster Pragya took 1 minute 27 seconds, well within time. Toastmaster Krishna took 2 minutes 25 seconds, super, within the grace period also to finish. Toastmaster Shifali took 1 minute 14 seconds. Okay, no problem. Good qualified. All are qualified except Nasir, but all gave a uh, good speech. Next, evaluations. Toastmaster Rich Hopkins took 3 minutes 15 seconds. And Toastmaster Srimas took 3 minutes 22 seconds. And Toastmaster Nikita Bhatia took 3 minutes 17 seconds. All are above the 3 minutes, but within the grace period, all are qualified. I think all are they are racing themselves to finish well in time. All were conscious to finish their evaluations well in time. Super, all are qualified. I hope everybody gave a good speech with an approach to with an conscious. They were conscious in time, and I hope uh, with this report I will give my whatever opportunity was given to me as a timer, even though it is very difficult as a timer. Yeah, obviously maths is telling it is easy, but timer role I find still it is difficult to manage the time for all the speakers. I have to improve to adapt to the timing as well. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Okay, thank you very much, Toastmaster Anand, for the report. And now I would like to call AHA counter Toastmaster Kiru to present his report. So I welcome Toastmaster Kiru once again. Toastmaster Kiru.
Thank you, Vijay. Start with Sergeant at Arms TM Kalyani. She used sounds or for 3 times, and Presiding Officer Iswar, he used filler words like 2 times, and sounds are 2 times. Timer TM Anand, he used 2 times long pause, filler words 5 times, sounds are 7 times. And TMOD TM Animesh, he used 2 times long pause, 9 times words, sounds 8 times. And generally evaluated TM Vijay used 2 times pause, filler words 20 times, sounds are 5 times. And grammarian TM Rimi, she used 2 times long pause. And coming to prepared speeches, TM Indumati, she used 2 times. And kudos to Narottam, he didn't use any filler words, long pause, or even sounds. And similarly, TM Vishak, he too, he didn't use any filler words, long pause, sounds. And coming to table topic master, TM Padmakumar sir, he used sounds 5 times. And speaker Rashekar, he used filler words 1 time, and sounds are 1 time. And the speaker to Nazir, he used long pause 4 times, filler words 5 times, no sounds are. And moving on to third speaker, table topics, Pragya, she didn't, kudos to her, she didn't use any filler words or long pause, whatever it is. And speaker 4, Krishna, he used 2 times long pause, filler words 8 times, sounds are 4 times. And fifth speaker Stephanie, she used 2 times long pause, filler words 4 times, sounds are 4 times. And moving on to evaluators, kudos to Mr. TM Rich Hopkins. He didn't use any pause, any filler words, nothing. And moving on to second evaluator TM Srinivas, he used filler words like 5 times, and some sounds are 4 times. And moving on to third evaluator TM Nikita Bhatia, she used filler words only 2 times. There were no sounds and not long pause. This is what my report, TM Vijay. Thank you. Thanks for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kiru, for your report. Now I would like to call our grammarian Toastmaster Rimi. I welcome Toastmaster Rimi once again. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I'll quickly cut to the chase and I'll present my grammarian report. I have divided my report into 3 parts. First is the usage of word and idiom of the day. Second half is good usage, and third half is not so good uses. So word of the day and idiom of the day. Word of the day was used by Nikita 3 times, Indumati 2 times, Padma sir 1 time. And idiom of the day, cut to the chase, was used by Animesh twice, Nikita 1 time, and Anand 1 time. Nikita was the only one who used the word of the day as well as idiom of the day. So coming to the good usage during the course of the meeting, there were very nice usages like sagacious, acronym people, mundane, and um, club them together, eureka moment, microscopic, sneaker, cripping, course, courtyard, beacon, crippling, broached, loitering around, morose, pondered, docked, Hubbard, trenches, a silver lining, garnered, rampage, venture out, ward off, engulfing. And other good usages were fix in the box, excel, perceived, strenuous, agitated, cohesive, affiliated, knows the way, shows the way, goes the way. Now I'll come to the not so good usage in today's meeting. Who attends? Somebody said who attend each and every meeting. It can be who attends each and every meeting. And introduce you. It should be introduce yourself. Here them their introduction. It should be here their introduction. Let's moving ahead. Let us move ahead. Thank you for connecting us. Thank you for connecting with us. Already know very much enjoyable could be used with some good words like amused, delightful, etc. And plural were used. Course, give me the topic. It is when we were talking about past, it should be gave the topic. When I asked him, when I ask him, it should not be ask him, it should be asked him because it was in past tense. And some of the incorrect uses was the good to, the English, I become a microbiologist. We don't use articles when we don't use article the before country, state, town, or a single lake or a mountain. That's why we don't use the US. We use the US but not the India, because the US is a collection of states, but India is a single unit, so uh, we use it only as India. So the Guntur, the English might be a wrong uses there. And that's it from my side. Over to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Riving, for wonderful report on the good English uses and not so good uses of English. So now should we go for voting of the best role player? So Toastmaster Ishwar, can we post the link? So there is a link in the chat window, and we can now vote for the best role player. And best role player, we have to consider the grammarian and AHA counter, and then timer, sergeant and arms, and vote counter. So timer, please let me know when 1 minute finishes.
Okay. It's done, Vijay.
Okay, thank you very much, Toastmaster Anand. So now I'll present my report and general evaluation of full meeting. So I'll cut the chase and focus on main points. So meeting started on the time at 3 o'clock, sharp 3 o'clock, and Sergeant and Arms Kalyani stated all the ground rules of the meeting. After that, stage was handed over to Toastmaster Ishwar as the presiding officer. He introduced every guest very beautifully, and then Toastmaster present in the meeting. After that, he explained mission of the Toastmaster and flow of the meeting very well. And he then handed over the stage to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Animesh. And I'll come on the Toastmaster of the day feedback after the feedback of the different role players. So Toastmaster Anand, who played the role of the timer, he explained uh, his role very well, and then during the meeting he shown the different timing slides. So he played his role very well today. And then Toastmaster Kiru, who was AHA very well in the start. In the end, he uh, presented his detailed report on the crutch words used during the meeting. And then Toastmaster Rimi, who played the grammarian role, she played her role very used word of the day and idiom of the day during the meeting. So, and she also very very as always he was flawless, and he started the meeting with the beautiful song one ek do teen. So start was very good, so it made full environment very light. And purpose of the TTM was purpose of the table topic was well explained, timing were well explained, topic were related to the theme of the day, so it was wonderful work done. Then one thing I liked was when participant was not very comfortable, then he asked her and changed the topic. So that was very good, because this platform is basically to make everybody comfortable. So very well work done there. Then on the evaluation of the prepared speech, so all the evaluator done their done their role very, I mean, evaluated speech very well manner, and CRC approach was followed. So I hope speaker will have the benefit from their evaluation. So well done there. Now I come to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Animesh. So who was very well prepared, and he explained initially the theme of the day, and then he very well introduced the general evaluator and Toastmaster in the meeting. And then before every speech, basically he called out the evaluators for the purpose of the speech. So that was very well done work there from the Toastmaster of the day. And time full meeting was well within time, so time management was good, no here and there he was taking to the meeting, so he was to the point. So very well work done by the Toastmaster of the day. So here I finish my report, and thank you. I hand over stage to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Animesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay, for such a lovely feedback. And I'm pretty surprised. I think I felt I could have done better, but sure, if you liked it, I liked. Well, I'm no one to comment. All right. Now, without further ado, Uh, I would like each and every one of you to vote for the role players for today. I'm sure all of you must have voted for them. If you haven't yet, please do. And what we'll do, and I'll also vote meanwhile. And we'll, and with that, I'll also explain to you a little special, a little special something that we at Elan do. So if you have noticed, we don't have the Toastmaster of the day and the general evaluator listed in the role in the voting for role players. You know why? Because we have something even special for them. We have our quarterly contest for Toastmaster of the day and the general evaluator. What we do in this is we rate the general evaluator and the Toastmaster of the day on certain parameters. From we score them on certain parameters, and whoever gets the highest score for the quarter gets an award. Now, since we are in lockdown, so they can't really give this award virtually, but I'm simply going to ask Ishwar to hand over, so to put up that link for the quarterly contest. Ishwar, will you please kindly put it on the chat? All right. If you would have noticed, Ishwar has put up a link, a bit.ly link, that's the link for the quarterly contest. What it has is a section for marking the Toastmaster of the day, that is myself, and the general evaluator, that is Toastmaster Vijay Bansal, on 3 parameters that that I'm pretty sure you would have seen over there, that you would be seeing over there. So go ahead and vote. We'll just give you 1 minute of silence.
It's time up, Animesh. You are on mute.
I'm hoping each and yeah, I heard that. Now I'm hoping each and every one of you in this audience has voted, has at least filled the form, and if you haven't, go ahead, fill it. We haven't closed it down. Now I would like to hear from some of the guests in this meeting. First of all, I would like to ask Toastmaster Rich Hopkins how he found the meeting. Toastmaster Rich, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
All right. Would you like to tell us?
Wonderful meeting. Great to see that you had a full meeting of all the roles filled. I love the fact that you vote on just about every possible thing you can vote on, and those you can't vote on, you rate. So that's excellent. That's evaluation even beyond evaluation. I really enjoyed being able to be at this meeting today, going around the world and seeing all these meetings and being able to see what some people are doing versus what other people are doing, seeing the enthusiasm from place to place. You guys definitely have it together. And that's something that I think a lot of the Toastmasters clubs around the world should be seeing. And I hope they're coming to visit your club because you are a shining example of a top-notch club.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That means a lot coming from you.
So,
And
Animesh, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
So, Rich, since you have been to various Toastmaster meetings globally, can you share one or two good things that you found some of the other clubs doing that we can incorporate as well? Any quick two suggestions?
Obviously, sir, please go ahead and give us some suggestions where we could improve. Thank you so much. Please.
Sure. Some of the other clubs have different traditions. It's been interesting. One of the key things that I see are on these online meetings, they spend a little bit more time introducing people. In this club, there's way too many people for all of you to introduce yourselves at the beginning. Some of the smaller clubs are able to get away with that if you only have 9 or 10 people showing up. I like the fact here that you set expectations up, because in some of the other clubs, they're still trying to figure out Zoom, and it sounds like you've figured Zoom out, gotten the protocols down, and you're not afraid to tell other people what they need to be doing to make the meeting flow smoothly. But the only other thing I've seen from other clubs that is a little bit different here is just some of them just have this fun interaction between each other, and I think it's because they're more on video and they unmute themselves more. But again, with as many people that show up at your meeting, I think that if you were unmuted and if you had your cameras all on, it would muddy up what you're doing. So, I can't really say that you should be doing anything any other club is doing, because you're doing all the best practices that I've seen in clubs around the world and in clubs I've been to. I mean, before doing this, I'd probably been to over 100 clubs in the 21 years I've been in Toastmasters. So when I say you're doing it right, in my opinion, I have a lot of background to compare to.
Thank you, sir. That means a lot coming from you. I mean, I never thought this would pan out real good. Anyways, now we're good. We would like some feedback from the guests, from other guests as well. How about you, Nasir? Would you like to give some feedback to us? Good or bad, whatever. Go ahead. You're on mute. My man, you're on mute.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. This is such a wonderful meeting. I'm really glad to be part of it. Even though I have joined when the meeting was almost, 20 or 25 minutes done. So still, whatever I have observed, whatever I have seen, this is really exciting. You people are full of enthusiasm, and I have seen some amazing speakers. So the most interesting thing I have seen is I must say, is table topic session, where the table topic master started with a song, and it actually immediately set the tone for the session, that what is going to happen. So that is how actually the supporting learning environment is in table topic session and all that Toastmasters meeting, because this is not a corporate meeting. It's something where we all want to learn and grow. That is the idea. So what I have seen is really wonderful. You are doing a tremendous job, and there is no actually limit to improvement. I'm new to Toastmasters, and I'm trying to attend as many meetings as possible. So here I'm really glad I have taken notes, a lot of things from you meetings, and so I'm trying to adapt myself with maths and with good quality meetings a lot more. And thank you very much to all of you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nasir. Now we don't have much time right now, so I would like to ask the vote counter if you're ready with the results. Vote counter, are you ready with the results?
Yeah, Toastmaster Animes, result is ready.
All right. With that, I'll now hand it over to the presiding officer and vote counter for today, Toastmaster Ishwar. Take it away.
Thank you, Toastmaster Animes. I think you have done a great job. Now it's time to announce the result and felicitate the winners. So for that, you need not to call anyone, because I am the vote counter. I need to do that job. Okay. So the best prepared speaker award goes to, can you guess? Okay, the Toastmaster Vishak. Can we have a round of applause? Congratulations, Vishak. Okay.
Thank you.
Now, best table topic speaker award goes to, chat it. Okay, Toastmaster Rajsekhar.
Oh,
Always. Okay. Now the best evaluator award goes to Toastmaster Nikita.
whoa.
Congratulations, Nikita. And the best role player award goes to our Gramanian for today's meeting, Toastmaster Rimi.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Rimi.
Thank you.
And congratulations to all the winners. And thanks a lot for hanging on, everyone. Does anyone having any announcement to do? No, I guess, right? Okay then. Thank you everyone for taking out some time for this meeting. We look forward to see you in our next meeting, and the details of that meeting will be soon rolled out in our WhatsApp group and in the other social media platform as well. So now I hand over to Zoom Master, Toastmaster Kalyani, to adjourn the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Kalyani.
Thank you, Ishwar. Thanks. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful meeting. All the glitches or issues faced or rectified. And once again, I want to state that we are all grateful to all the adept role players, evaluators, and speakers on the stage. We thank you for being with us this evening. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you very much. I declare Elan Toastmasters meeting 293 closed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
just switch on your cameras, switch on your videos, and we'll just take a quick little break. All right. And yeah, everybody.
Good night,
Priyavratha.
guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, just a minute. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. The photo is with us. And with that, we finally close. Ta-da.
Thank you.
Thank you.